Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of My Life Sunday Night Live version. With me tonight is Rebecca Fox.
Hi.
I realize I look different tonight. I'm trying something after Wednesday night show. I was told that my words seem to cut out, so I'm trying a new mic. Hopefully it works. Let me know if you hear me fine and everything else. If that will be a good help. I'm not using the mic on the camera. I'm using, as you can see. Oh, you did it in the wrong one there, Rebecca.
Dang! That's just you. Crap. All right, I'll open the other window.
Rebecca tried doing the hi guys to you in the chat, but she did it in our personal chat.
Don't forget about the heart. That's like the most important part. It was hi guys heart.
Yeah, because she loves us all.
I do. I love you all.
Well, just like I said in my post originally, since you're gonna be learning a lot, you already know her as a writer, blogger, actress, storage unit buyer. What has happened? What brought her all the way to that from 5 years ago? Before that, so with that being said, Rebecca, take it away and reintroduce yourself for the people that don't necessarily know you.
All the way to that 5 years ago. That's my bad. I opened the other window and I didn't do the thing where I'm supposed to mute it. Okay, can you still hear me? You can still see me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Let me find you. I don't even know where to start. From New Orleans, lived in New Orleans, Louisiana my whole life. Went to high school, went to Catholic elementary school, Catholic middle school, Catholic high school. Knocked my eyeball out of my head when I was 10. That was interesting. But other than that, nothing like really super eventful happened. When I was 15, my mom was a teacher and my dad was a mechanic. And so the summer that I turned 15, I started working for both of them. And I started kind of substitute teaching with my mom and teaching summer camp with my mom. And I started working kind of in the automotive industry with my dad. And my dad stuck. So I stayed in the automotive industry for 20 years. Worked my way up from a typist and file clerk to a receptionist, to a cashier, to a warranty clerk, to a service writer, to a parts manager. And by the end of it, I was writing service, writing parts, managing them both. If my dad had to leave, I was running the whole operation by myself. We were doing $1 million to $2 million a year in service and parts and body shop. So it was a significant, amount of stuff. And then kind of in between that, like I was still in college full time and I was working odd jobs. So when I was in school working at the car dealership. When I wasn't in school, I was doing these like weird odd jobs. So I've had about 25 like totally bizarre odd jobs. So that's super fun.
Well, why don't you give them a little hint? Well, you kind of said a list, but what was the weirdest thing that happened with either your dad's job or one of your odd jobs that you can give us a story of?
Sorry, that's my mom. Hang on one second. She keeps messaging me. Okay. I don't know if y'all can hear that.
Yeah, I was hearing it. I don't know if they were hearing it, but
I'm going to tell her. Well, I just had such a weird amount of odd jobs. Like I just did the most bizarre things like you could ever imagine. I was a shoe salesman. Because at the time I worked at Sears and I'm a hustler. Like I don't like jobs where I get paid an hourly rate or a salaried rate. I like jobs where I can hustle and earn commission because I'm a good salesperson. And so at the time at Sears, they only had 3 jobs that had commission. One was the like fitness machines, and the large fitness equipment, which made sense. One was the diamonds and jewelry, which also made sense. And those departments had people that had been in them for 20 years that were not going anywhere. And the third department that's commission at Sears at the time was shoes. So I was like Al Bundy. It was very strange and very weird. So I did that for a while. I was a telemarketer. I sold bricks to people over the phone. True story. I was a skip tracer, which is like if people are calling to collect debts. I was a debt collector. I was an online debt collector and an on-phone debt collector, which is horrible. But if people really start like moving around and stuff. We have to talk about this more. It's super interesting, but I was a skip tracer. I was like an online bounty hunter. I worked at a phlebotomy DNA lab for paternity testing. Just random, just weird stuff. Just bizarre jobs. I think like my favorite is obviously buying storage units and doing yard and estate sales, because that's where I still am today. But I've definitely had some strange, experiences. I've done a lot of movie, film stuff, craft service, food service, standing in, writing, directing behind the scenes. I've stood in for some very famous actresses. So yeah, never a dull moment.
Well, we have a question from Coco Chanel. She wants to know, what movie did you play in?
What movie did I play in? On screen, I started doing, so my degree from Loyola was in psychology and criminal justice. I wanted to be a forensic psychologist. But I had enrolled originally in school to be a singer, because I was a singer through high school, and I won a lot of awards for voice and singing and all this. And I have worked as a professional opera singer as well. So I was a singer, and there was a movie that came here called I Love You, Philip Morris. It was with Jim Carrey and Ewan McGregor, and it was a true story of this man named Stephen Russell, who has broken out of jail 15, 20 times. And he gets out a different, more elaborate way every single time. It's fascinating stuff. But I was a singer, and so they needed somebody to sing on the soundtrack and then actually on screen. And originally it was just supposed to be soundtrack. So they asked me, it was like a 12-person choir. They said, hey, can you guys, get together, make a choir, sing a song? Okay, I was featured in the choir, so I had like a solo in the choir. And then we were supposed to record it, and they were supposed to use it in the movie. And then they decided that they wanted to actually see us singing on screen. So then they put us in the movie. So I did that movie. I was on screen just as background extra in Treme, Pitch Perfect 2, Pitch Perfect 2, Get Hard, which with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. Astronaut Wives Club, I did some on screen. I'm thinking. Reality shows, I was a contestant on Wheel of Fortune. I was a contestant on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I've been on Antiques Roadshow, Auction Hunters, Storage Wars, as part of my Storage Wars stuff. Then I did a lot of commercials. I was in ads for Top Chef, WrestleMania. It's so hard to remember them because they're Toyota. I was in a Toyota commercial, TurboTax commercial, a lot. If you want to look at my IMDb, I'm Rebecca Lee, Lee Fox on IMDb, so you'll be able to see all my on-screen credits. But yeah, there's been a lot of on-screen for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are shocked at a lot of the commercials you did are probably for local anyway, except for WrestleMania.
They were actually all national. TurboTax was national, WrestleMania was national, Top Chef was national, Toyota was national. They like to film in New Orleans because not only do we have the cheapest labor for the film industry, and we're non-union, so people can work. They can hire people under non-union rates, and they can pay us basically nothing. So Louisiana was really big for a while with the film industry until they killed our tax credits. But they're all national commercials. People love to come to New Orleans and love to see like the parades and the Mardi Gras and the feathers and the, second lining and stuff like that. And actually what's funny is the Top Chef commercial, I did it and I was featured. I was a reveler. I had this big, huge, like fire red wig on and balloons and this big red dress. And they did this picture where it's Padma and Tom and Gail and Emerald and me. And that picture made buses, billboards, Times Square, the subway. I had people randomly, I had no idea. I knew we had shot it, but I didn't realize like the extent of it. And it's hard to recognize me because I have all the weird stuff. So unless you knew it was me, you can't really tell it was me. But I had people calling me like, I'm in New York and I'm on a subway and your face is like on my subway train. So that was kind of cool. It was a really cool experience to know that, you know, my face on fire was on a subway train.
Plus, you can also hit on your NOLA girls.
Yeah, I own NOLA Showgirls. We do parades primarily. We have a Las Vegas, you know, the Las Vegas style outfit with the big headdress and feathers and the feather bustles. And we've done a few commercials. So I have now 22 girls-ish that that's just my hobby. I don't really consider that a job. But, you know, we all dance in the parades, and then, you know, people always want showgirls. So people might say, hey, we're opening up a car dealership today. Can you send me 6 girls, or can you send me 4 girls, or can y'all come and take pictures of people, hand out beads, you know, smile at the door with your, you know, showgirl, like, you know, ooh, you know, so we do a lot. You can see I'm doing a lot of that now because that's what I'm used to doing. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. And we've been as showgirls in a couple commercials. We did Toyota as showgirls, we did TurboTax as showgirls, and then we did NCIS as showgirls, but we also were heavily featured in the new Tom Cruise movie, Jack Reacher 2, Never Go Back, based on the book series. So if you want to look for us, it's not out yet, but when that movie comes out, you'll definitely see some showgirls in that movie.
Wow. And for everybody that was wondering, right before the show, Rebecca and I were talking, and she actually told me she cleaned out her office, and she was looking through a notebook. And why don't you tell us what you found, Rebecca?
So a brief, like, kind of thing. So we were talking, I was in automotive, and I love being in the automotive industry. I worked for Subaru, which is like a really great car, and I really loved it. I was working with my dad and my uncle and all that. And then the automotive industry crashed, and my boss came to me one day and said, hey, it's like 3 days before Christmas. By the way, we're not going to have this business anymore. We're going to close it down effective January 1st. So I basically had like 6 days notice that I was losing my job, that my whole family was losing their jobs right before Christmas. Like, it's not what you want to hear. It was just horrible. So kind of in a panic, I was like, you know, I got on unemployment. I was like, what do I do? So I started buying storage units. And that's kind of how that whole thing started. And what was supposed to be kind of a temporary thing ended up, you know, you guys, if you're familiar with me, you know that I write a blog. I've published a book. I have 2 more books on the way. Dan Dotson of Storage Wars just hired me to work on his blog. I used to work for Storage Treasures. I used to consult for Storage Treasures, and I used to do all these things. And so I did storage stuff for a couple years, and I had a really bad falling out with a business partner. And I was like, sometimes the only way to get somebody toxic out of your life is to kind of move to a different life for a little while. And so I kind of opened my own store without the person and did that. And my store was taking losses, and so I started working in the film industry to cover the losses from my store. So, you know, for 5 years, I was doing that, and then I kind of segued into the film industry. So for the last 2 years, I've been taking kind of a little detour on the film industry. Still been doing estates, still been doing storage units, just not like full time, just here and there. So I cleaned out my office. My boyfriend moved in, and we needed an office because I've been doing all this writing and blogging and stuff again. So, I mean, it's really not super cleaned up because you can see, like, I still have a ton of, like, that's a whole estate lot of antique furniture right there. But it's generally cleaned out. And so I found this notebook. Chris was talking to me about some past guests and people I need to look up. And we were talking about, like, Google and, like, SEO stuff. And so I'm writing it down, and I'm looking at this notebook from 3 years ago. And my to-do list is, like, write, blog, interviewing Dan Dotson for Storage Treasures, you know, list dancewear units, list cheerleading unit, sell antique furniture in office. Like, it's the exact same stuff that I'm doing this week, 3 years ago or whatever. It's just weird. It's weird how my life has come back full circle. I feel like I'm getting kind of back to where I needed to be before I got sidetracked.
Yep, so, and we have a comment from Coco Chanel that says, "We have a star!" Laugh out loud.
Coco Chanel is the star. I love that name. That's fascinating. I'm a good fashion girl, so I'm happy you were here, Coco. Thank you.
And we have a question from Richie Treasures. Do you have a Facebook page? You are Foxy Reselling, right?
Yes. So Storage Heroes, like superheroes, but Storage Heroes is my company name. So my Facebook is Storage Heroes. My Twitter is storage_heroes. My Instagram is Storage Heroes. My Pinterest is Storage Heroes. My YouTube is Storage Heroes. My eBay store is Storage-Heroes. And then my website is storage-heroes.com. And then on the website, you'll find links to like what I have for sale, pictures of what I have for sale, my books, my class. I have a free class right now on buying storage units. It's been well attended. So that's there. And links to all my other stuff is there. So really, if you just go to storage-heroes.com, www.storage-heroes.com, you'll get all my links to all my other stuff. And I might have to check out Thrifty Treasures. I'm going to write that down as well.
And for everybody that knows, the link that's offered on my show when we did her book launch is still active. So if you go back to that video and use the link, you can still get $5 off the book. Not that we're doing a promotion for the book. Just figured I'd let you all know that.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because, like, you know, everything I've ever done up until this point has been what I needed for these books. Like, these books are kind of like a culmination of all of my knowledge, you know, over the past like 5 years. And now I kind of want to write one about like my dating, my weird dating history, and like my weird jobs. Like, I kind of want to write books now, like, don't do this because I did this already and it didn't work. Like, do this because it's better, you know. So I kind of want to write books now about like everything.
Well, what else do you think would be a surprise to the viewers to know that know you as all these other things from the last 5 years, especially 2 years since you've been on a guest on my shows, and that many people knew you. Well, I wouldn't say didn't know you, but you know what I mean. You didn't have YouTube videos out that much, type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of weird old stuff. I lived in Buffalo, New York for a year. You know, I'm in New Orleans. I live in New Orleans, born and raised in New Orleans. And so when Hurricane Katrina came, it was, you know, absolutely devastating for all of us. And I had to evacuate to Texas. We went to this Texas town because it was the only place we could find a hotel room, and we ended up thinking we were going to take a vacation there for like a week. We saw how bad the damage was, and after 3 days, we tried to get closer to home. So then we moved back to Denham Springs, which is like, Texas was like 8 hours from New Orleans. Denham Springs is like 45 minutes from New Orleans, 45 minutes to an hour. And so we were in a hotel room in Denham Springs thinking that, you know, I think we did Baton Rouge for a night, we did Hammond for a night, we did Denham Springs, thinking that we were going to be there like 3 or 4 days. And we ended up living there for 45 days. And so for 45 days, we're living in this hotel room, and it was just weird and horrible. And, you know, I was driving back and forth to New Orleans because no one else had a job. All my friends and family, none of them were allowed back in the city because nobody had a job. But I had gotten a job at State Farm doing catastrophe claims for people who had lost everything. And so I was commuting back and forth and working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week from like September something when I came back till well after Christmas. So from September, October, November, December, I didn't get a single day off, and I worked 49 hours a week. No, 84 hours a week. Sorry. A lot of overtime though. So when people go through something like that, they're traumatized and they need money. And State Farm, you know, was giving them checks. Some people were getting checks for like $400,000 or $500,000, you know. And so as the holidays neared, people like for Thanksgiving and Christmas, people got like really super like something snapped and they just went crazy. And they would come in to me because I was at the front desk, and they would say, "You're going to give me this check right now, or I'm going to pull this gun out of my pocket and I'm going to shoot you in the face." And I didn't have the authority to give checks. Like, I wasn't a claim rep. I was just like a receptionist and a person and, you know, customer service agent. And I didn't have that authority. And so they basically got National Guard and Whack and Hut private security people to like be my bodyguard. So I always had a bodyguard like at my desk, and then I had one in the parking lot. I had one in the room behind me, and then they would rotate all day long. And I ended up dating one of the bodyguards. And when our shift, everything ended, that following, by May or June of that following year, nothing was happening anymore with the cat claims. But my original work still hadn't come back yet. So he moved to Buffalo, and so I moved to Buffalo too. So there was a strange year I spent, in Buffalo, New York. I think people would be surprised by that because I'm so New Orleans all the time.
And yep, and you're a Saints fan.
Absolutely. Who dat? All the way. Oh my gosh, my mother. I just told her not to text me, so now she's calling me. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's part of life.
Yay, people
Okay.
following me. Okay.
Oh.
People just followed me on Twitter, so thank you for that. @storage_heroes.
Well, Jim Bennett wants to know, and I'll let you tell the story, if you can remember it, how me and you met.
I don't really know. Do you remember?
Yes. You mentioned the site.
Was it through Storage Treasures?
Yep. Because it was back when you were posting things about yard sales, and when they actually had the forums.
Yeah, I'm so sad about that, by the way. Like, I put so much effort and so much time into making those forums like a really great place, and a lot of other people did too. Hang on, I'm sorry. My mother just does not understand.
Well, everybody, while she's trying to deal with her mom.
Sorry.
I was gonna say something so you can at least text her if you had to get away for a bit.
I got it. I had to explain to her, like I did, but she didn't understand. The forums, everybody, contributed, and it was about education. And, I took my 2-year hiatus, like I said, and I came back, and it was like, it's all about buying online units now, which is great. But if there's no education, I was talking on the phone to this about Dan. I was talking on the phone with Dan Dotson about this like 3 days ago. I said, Dan, I said, if people aren't educated, they're going to buy a unit and they're not going to know what to do with what the contents are. They're going to feel super overwhelmed. They're going to hate the whole process, and they're going to give up and never do it again. So even if you're trying to make money by online auctions, if you're not teaching these people how to sell their stuff, they're not going to come back, and you're not going to make more money off of them. So, it's about education too. And he agrees with me, which is why I'm happy to be over at storageauctions.net now. But yeah, I do remember that we were talking about yard sales. You tell it better.
Well, I just asked you a certain question in the group, on the forum, because I was going there every once in a while, because hence my name, Walker Picker, I was going to yard sales. Well, and then eventually I just said, you told me to find you on Facebook, or somehow you told me to find you on Facebook, which I did. And then we started talking, and then I said, hey, I have a show on YouTube. You want to be on? Sure. Because you want to help everybody. So, there you are. And we've been friends. I want to say, it feels like it's been at least a year, minimum, that we've been at least friends on Facebook, probably even longer.
Definitely more than that, because I was working for Storage Treasures full time, like in 12 and 13. So it had to have been kind of at least since 13 or 14, I would feel like. And then when I did
as I say, at least 14, because I realized the other night, or a couple weeks ago, that Chad, who's in the chat, Golden Finger Picker, and I have been friends for 2 years.
Okay.
So
it seems like way longer than that.
Well, that's when you know a good friendship is there, when you feel a lot longer, or at least most of the time.
Looking at your like posts, like your normal everyday posts, and like I follow like your friends now and stuff. So yeah, it was definitely like a little family for sure. So I like that a lot. What was I going to tell you? What's funny is that from that site, I met so many people that I'm still like really good friends with, and they come from out of town and they come visit me. I was in a parade as a showgirl, and I had people like screaming like Rebecca Fox Storage Heroes, and I'm like looking, and it's like people from California, people from New York, people from Minnesota and stuff, like in New Orleans, like visiting. So but there were a lot of really cool people on that site with really interesting stories. Clay from
Okay.
found body parts in the unit, and was on CNN for that. And then Cindy found like a $30,000 diamond in a unit. So there's a lot of people that were like on CNN or Discovery Channel, doing like stories about like their finds,
And
Paris Hilton's locker.
I was gonna say,
We're all people.
Another thing to surprise some people about is that Redneck Picker was part of that site, which he was also on YouTube.
Yep, Troy is great, and Troy dated a friend of mine for a while, and I don't think that worked out. I'm not really sure what happened with that, but yeah, Troy's awesome, and I got to spend some time because Storage Treasures did like a pro series where you could pay a couple $100 and you could get like a 12 video series. Actually, Coco Chanel was asking about my on-screen time. I had a lot of on-screen time in that. They had 12 episodes of, how to buy, how to sell, how to do this, how to do that. And it was featuring 12 people. And it was Troy, the Redneck Picker. It was Steve Cox and his buddy Richard from Suburban Pickers, who's Dave Hester's former partner. Dan and Laura Dotson of American Auctioneers and Storage Wars. Nabila Hannis of Storage Wars. Me, my former business partner. Drenton Bears, who does like books. He's well known in the eBay community for books. I think that's all. But yeah, so we had a really good time working together, all of us. And I got to know Troy really well. Keep your head on a swivel. Always keep your head on a swivel. So yeah. I always hear that in my head whenever I'm picking or doing something.
We have a couple more questions. One from Vaughn Flipping Easy asks, says, I love Barry. Did you meet him?
Who? You love who?
Barry.
Oh, Barry? No, I didn't meet Barry. I didn't meet Barry. I've talked to him online a couple times, but I've never met him. But yeah, he's great. Like everything I've heard about him, nobody's ever like, oh, you talk to people, they're like, oh, Hester's a dick, Dave's a dick, You never hear anybody say anything bad about Barry. So hopefully I'll get to meet him. I'm going out to California in October for a couple weeks, and I'm meeting up with Dan, and I'm hoping that if they're shooting, I'll be able to go to a couple of those auctions and check out some of those episodes.
And then we have another question from and by the way, Swamp Picker tells your mom to watch YouTube.
That's a good point. I keep telling her. Maybe I should just send her the link. That would be awesome. That's a really cool deal. I'm gonna be like, look here. There you go.
But Jim Bennett asked another question. Says, I checked out your IMDb. How far did you get on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Back in those days, I kind of wish I would have waited to go on the show, because back in those days, when Regis did it, it was a certain format, and now the guy, I can't remember his name, the new guy has a format that's a certain format. It's the same format. When I was on it, the host was Meredith Vieira, and they went through like a year or two on the show where they kept switching hosts. They went from like Meredith Vieira to the guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Terry Crews, to somebody out, one of the kings of comedy. It was like all these different things in a year. And to try to like spice up the format, they made it to where the questions and the dollar amounts were random. So, in the original Millionaire, you get a question like, what goes wolf? A, dog, B, cat, C, gerbil, D, whale, and it's $100 question. And then you get a $200 question and a $500 question, a $1,000 question, a $5,000, so on and so forth, and that by the time you get up to 100,000, they're going to be really hard. On my show with Meredith Vieira, it was random. So you had 10 or 13 questions. You didn't know whether it was going to be $100 or $25,000, and you didn't know what level of difficulty it was. The money thing didn't bother me because I don't care. $100 is great. $25,000 is great. If I win money, I win money. So I don't really care, what amount of money I get per question. That's fun and exciting. But like to randomize the level of difficulty on the questions was horrifying, because you second guess yourself a lot. So my example about what animal goes woof. Let's say it was, what color is the sky? A, blue. B, gray, C, orange, D, black. Well, okay, if it's $100 question, the sky's blue. Okay, what color is the sky? Blue. Blue sky. Everybody knows that, you know? But what if it's $100,000 question? Is it sunset? Is it raining? Is it nighttime? You know, so I really did second guess myself a lot. I made it up to, I was 3 questions away from the $100,000 point. My bank was 32,600, 32,000 something. I got the $25,000 question. I got some of the other questions, but I walked away. And so when I walked away, they halved my money. So I cleared like $16,600. That was a very long answer to your question. I didn't want to say 16,000 because then I sound like a loser. But yeah, I won $16,000.
Well, still, you know, just being on TV and winning anything, especially when you went on Wheel of Fortune too.
That was fun. Wheel of Fortune was a lot of fun. Millionaire was like terrifying. But Wheel of Fortune was fun from start to finish. It was a good time.
And I'm going to have to say it because it was commented by Chad on its chat. Rebecca Fox, Debbie Gibson.
You know, does he still think that, even though now that my hair is like dark, it's like my natural color, does he still think I would think Debbie Gibson? We'll have to ask him.
Well, Joe Panico, who's another loyal watcher, said, she does look like Debbie Gibson now that you mention it, Chad.
Oh gosh. Does she sing I Think We're Alone Now? Is that Tiffany? I'm going to have to start learning Debbie Gibson songs and singing them for people. You could just tell people you're interviewing Debbie Gibson and I'll play along. Yeah. I love singing in the 80s.
And he said, of course she does. And then Heart Pickers, who is Ronnie Hart, who's another one of our good friends, says, who is Debbie Gibson? She a Spice Girl?
I did dress up as Baby Spice for when I was in high school. I had 5 friends, and we all looked like exactly like the Spice Girls. And I was Baby, because back then I had like
the question from Chad. I don't know if you saw this question.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Chad wants to know, will you sing Lost in Your Eyes?
How does it go?
I don't know.
I will if I... Was that from Chad?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know he was on. I will learn it for you. I will learn it just for you, and I will sing it next time I'm on either of your YouTubes, or I will just message it to you, or I will post it on your Facebook wall. Wait. We'll have to make like some sort of like deal. Like if I get like 25 Twitter followers because of Chad, I will post singing Debbie Gibson on his wall. There's got to be some kind of bet or deal or something. We'll have to think about it.
Yeah, Jennifer Santiago said Debbie Gibson song Only in My Dreams. So I think that's where the song comes from.
I kind of sort of vaguely remember. That was kind of before my time. I was born in 82, so I was like probably 10 or something, 8 or 10 or something. I did like her, but I don't remember that being the song that I liked. What's her other songs? I have to look this up. I don't want to type this.
Really, I never really got into her, so. But then again, Chad's a couple years older than me, so.
Yeah,
he said he'll bring you on his channel for you to sing.
What do I get out of this? I guess I get to be on his channel. I've always wanted to be on his channel. All right, I guess that's a deal. But I'm not doing the whole song. Just like 10, 12 seconds. Tops.
He'll bring you on your channel if you get out the Twitters. If he gets you get the 25 Twitters off because of the show and whatnot from.
Yes, 25 on Twitter, and I'll go on your show. And if I get him 25 Twitter followers, he's got to sing me some Selena.
Uh-oh. There you go. Well, he'll probably just do that anyway, knowing Chad. He loves Selena.
I know he does. So, I love Selena, too. I'll sing Selena. I know Selena's songs. I don't know Debbie Gibson's songs.
And I'm saying, Hopelessly Devoted to You is another song.
That's Olivia Newton-John. I call Shenanigans. I know that one. That one was in Grease. That's Olivia Newton-John.
And so, okay. So I don't think anybody. Well, I already mentioned it that you were on the Wheel of Fortune. So how far did you get on there?
Wheel of Fortune, I knew I was going to win that show. Like, I knew it. I walked into it. I wasn't feeling well that morning. I was throwing up. That was kind of before I knew that I was gluten intolerant, which for people who don't know, it's everywhere. But I can't have wheat or like bread or whatever. I didn't know that at the time. So I was sitting in the green room and they bring the contestants this like huge, you're there all day, first of all. Like you get there at like 6 o'clock in the morning and you have schools, like you have to go to spinning the wheel school and consonant calling school and vowel calling school, and like where they teach you all this like ridiculous things that you have to know to be on Wheel of Fortune. Categories, school, I call it, they don't call it, I call it that because that's what it is. They sit you down and they say, this is how to spin the wheel. This is how to blah, blah, blah. This is how to call a vowel. Like, so you're in school for like 10 hours and then you finally get on your episode. And so I was starving because I'd been there all day. But you don't know when you're going to film because they film 5 episodes in one day. And it's all random by lottery. They assign who's going to be with who because if you ever notice, like Wheel of Fortune, you'll never see 3 girls or 3 guys. It's always 2 girls and 1 guy or 2 guys and 1 girl. And they always have like different multicultural mix and they have a different like where people are from mix, whatever. So they pick the 3 people and they match them based on like their skill set level and what they look like. So they'll do that. But like where your episode is during the day, you don't know. It's all random. So I could have been filming at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I could have been filming at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I could have been filming at 7 o'clock that night. I didn't know. I was starving, but I kept thinking that I was going to be next. So I didn't want to eat anything like messy. So all I had the whole day was chips and bread and bagels and crackers because I was trying to eat stuff that like wasn't, like a little ham and cheese cracker or whatever. So I was so sick. I didn't know. I glutened myself and I was like puking my guts out. But I knew I was going to win. And in all the schools, they kept saying like, if you go to the bonus round. And I'd say, not if, when I go to the bonus round. And the other contestants were all like, Rebecca, you're a little cocky. Don't you think that's a little cocky? I was like, no, I'm going to the bonus round. Like, I'm sorry, I am. I'm going to the bonus round. So I did. I won my game. I won the prize puzzle. I won the trip. I won my game. I went to the bonus round. I had the worst. Like, I was so screwed. Like, I almost appealed it because I didn't think it was very fair. I have asked 500 people to date to try to solve my Wheel of Fortune puzzle. I've like written down the blanks on a piece of paper and I've asked them if they could solve it. I've given them 10 seconds. I've actually given them 30 to 45 to a minute long to answer this bonus, and not a single person in the 500 people I've asked has been able to solve this bonus round. So that kind of sucks. So I didn't win the $30,000 in the bonus, but I walked out with $20,810. And that was great. I mean, it was a wonderful experience. They made me feel so welcome from start to finish. I'm still friends with the other contestants on my show. I'm still friends with the other contestants from my auditions. So it was a wonderful. I highly recommend it. They're still shooting. They're in their like 33rd, 34th season. I highly recommend that you guys all audition because it's a wonderful experience.
And what is there any other video game? Video games. That's good. TV game shows you've been on?
I was on American Idol, and I got out right before. I made it all the way to the executive producer round, which is the round right before the judges come in, and that was a horrible experience. It was really, really bad. I wrote a blog that got like several million hits, and then Fox like cease and desisted me. Basically, they're like, "We're going to sue the crap out of you if you keep writing this blog." And I was like, "Okay." So it's not really up anymore. It's kind of a long story, but that was a horrible experience. But I was on American Idol. I've done. That wasn't a big deal because you never saw me. It never aired. So I don't really consider myself as being on that show. But I had that experience, so that was kind of cool.
Okay, well, we still got about 20 minutes left before the hour's up. My question I have for you,
Yay.
before you really go into it and get more questions from the viewers, because I see a couple more viewers popping in. What has your thoughts been since we met, and you've actually come on my show a couple of times? Have it been eventful, like for people starting to follow you, or has it been, oh, Hum, it's a normal day for Rebecca Fox?
No, I'm so grateful to you that I've been able to be on the show because I sold quite a few copies, and because we gave, when we were promoting the book, you helped. I consider that book to be part of your book because both you and Roxy helped me edit it. You helped me read it before anybody else read it. We launched it right here, on your other show, the R Show, and we had a code for who bought that book that night, had that code, and I've sold quite a few copies to your followers, and I've gotten quite a few people from your show, and hopefully you've gotten some people from me as well and pay it forward. But yeah, I'm always so grateful to be here. I mean, I don't even, if people don't want to take my free class, if people don't want to buy my book, so be it. Like, I'm just happy to be here and be able to like talk to you guys because that's always so much fun, and we always go over, and I always don't care that we're going over because it's nice. It's nice to know that there's people out there, if I'm ever in your neck of the woods, I want to come visit. If you're ever here, I want you to come visit. Same for Chad, same for, all the other people we've talked to along the way. If Coco Chanel wants to come visit me, if Jim wants to come visit me, if any of these people we've talked to want to come visit me in New Orleans, like, let me know. I have lots of furniture you could sleep on. It's sure to be antique and collectible and very nice, so I'm just happy we have this like community where we can all kind of, help each other. And, one of my big messages has always been networking. You're not, the reason I give away free classes and I give away free education and I give away free blogging and all this stuff is because I know that if people see that the information I'm putting out is knowledgeable and from someone who knows what they're doing, but from someone who's also cool to hang out with and fun and wants to make friends, then they're going to remember me and they're going to pay it forward when they have, something going on and they need my help. If they, find a unit, it's like $8 million in gold and they need somebody to help appraise them, they're going to call me. I know that. And I know you're going to call me if you have a show where you need somebody. And I know, I'm going to call you if I have another book and I want to, premiere it. So it's all about networking. Like, you don't get anywhere by climbing over people. You get to the top, but you're not going to be there for very long. And you're not going to have referrals, and you're not going to grow your customer base, and you're not going to, so I'm happy that we have these little chats. And I want more questions because I don't like to talk unless I'm like talking with people.
Well, while we're waiting for more questions, I'll do a couple shout outs so you can figure out who's here out of 31 viewers that we have. We got Mr. Sadie's in the chat. Angie Treasured Vintage is in the chat. She made a comment that she actually hates the way they yell out the letters. Like, I'll take a B for your Wheel of Fortune, she says. And they must tell them to yell the letters out.
I have to tell her a story about that because I have a really funny story about that. But continue with the shout outs.
Well, we also have, like I said, Joe Panico had his Turtle Trader. We have Rainbows and Puppies.
Rainbows and Puppies?
We have Thrifty Treasures, which is, you already know, it's Tanya. Jim Bennett. We have Jennifer Santiago. What do we have? Chad. Let's see. We got Heart Pickers, which is Ronnie.
Aww.
And let's see, I'm trying to see if I can figure out anybody else that I've missed.
I'm interpretive dancing to people's names. I like it.
We got Swamp Picker is in it.
Yeah, Swamp Picker. Swamp Picker's my Facebook friend. Swamp Picker has my book. Swamp Picker and I have talked a couple times. So hello. Hi, good to see you.
And then we Stephen Scroggins is in the chat.
Hi, Stephen.
And let's see. I said Vaughn, who had asked a couple of questions. Mm-hmm. She's a local person to me.
Vaughn asked good questions. I wrote Vaughn down.
And I think that's all I can see. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. So, Half-Ass Picker just showed up.
Half-Ass Picker? That's the greatest name ever. Half-Ass Picker.
And Kathy Earls says hello.
Hi, Kathy. Yay. I'm excited.
Okay, so what is this story that you want to tell Angie about the yelling of the letters?
Okay, Angie, that is a wonderful point. So when they teach you how to do at vowel school and consonant school, they teach you that you have to shout your letters, and you have to shout them really loud and really excited and really T R N W. It's ridiculous. You feel like a cheerleader, and it feels super awkward, but you just do it because that's what you're supposed to do. And they have 3 contestant coordinators. They have, one who's from this place, one who's from this place, and they have Jackie, who's awesome. Jackie is like the most famous contestant coordinator. When you're on Wheel of Fortune, it's like a fraternity, and you meet all these other contestants, and you share like, oh, what was your tape date like? Oh, what was your trip like? Oh, what did you wear? Oh, where did you give me tips? Let's talk. And so we all get together and we like have lunches and dinners, and we go out, we talk about these contestant coordinators. And Jackie is like hands down the most famous person on Wheel of Fortune. Screw Pat and Vanna, like everybody knows who Jackie is. Everybody talks about Jackie. And Jackie is this like little lady. She's like my size, like, and she's, but she's like this huge personality. I gotta back up. This is Jackie. Okay, Rebecca. Okay, you're gonna be a Wheel of Fortune. All right, guys, you're gonna get super excited. Super excited. Let me see the excitement. Let me see the excitement. And like she'll come up to you. She calls it the cone of juice. She's like, hey, we're going to get juiced up. We're going to get pumped up for today. Let me see you juiced up, cone of juice, cone of juice. You got to get to the top. The cone of juice. Let me see it. And like, that's Jackie. And like, everybody jokes about like her cone of juice. And like, she gets people so excited. And I don't mind it because I'm like one of those people that's like always like up here too. So for me, it's like super, fun or whatever. Some people, I don't think anybody's really aggravated by it because if you're on Wheel of Fortune, you have to kind of have that personality. So nobody's really like, oh, I wish someone would stop trying to help me win more free money. We know she's like trying to help us, and she's great. But like I said, on that particular day, I wasn't feeling well. So I had thrown up like 3 times, and I was in the bathroom, and I was in hair and makeup, and I had thrown up again, and I just really wasn't feeling well. And right at like my worst, I was feeling great the whole day and all the other days that I was there. And then, 10 minutes before my episode is when I just got really sick. And it wasn't nerves. I don't get nervous. I just got really sick. And that was my time to get on. So about 15 minutes before you go on, they put you out there and they let you practice calling a couple letters again because they want to like get you out into the mood. And at this point, you're mic'd and there's a live studio audience. So it's pressure because you're practicing, but people can hear you. You have this live studio audience. Well, Jackie goes, okay, Rebecca, let's do practice. And I was like, Jackie, let me go off stage while I have 3 minutes and like get some water and like sit down and like try to feel better. She's like, no, like let's whatever. She says, let's practice. And she goes, give me a tea. And I go, tea. And she goes, no, Rebecca, give me a tea. I go, tea. She goes, Rebecca, give me a tea. I'm like, tea. She's like, Rebecca. She's like, give me a tea. And I was like so frazzled and aggravated. And I just went, tea! I screamed at her, and she goes, and the whole studio audience goes, and it was like the silence. She goes, okay, Rebecca, that was great. Next time, do it without the spit. And she wipes off her face. So embarrassing. It was so bad. It's like so funny. But yeah, we're kind of annoyed by it too, but like, if you have a choice between saying the letter and not, if they don't hear you correctly, if you don't enunciate it correctly, if they can't hear you, you don't get the money. And then the person right next to you guesses the same stupid letter and wins your money. So I get why it's important, but yeah, I wasn't having any of it. I felt so bad I wasn't having any of it that day.
Okay, we have a question from Mr. Sadie.
Yay.
He wants to know, if you saw someone giving bad information that could damage someone's account, would you say something or let it go?
Like on eBay or something?
Yep.
If I saw somebody giving bad information to someone else, would I say something or would I let it go? I guess it depends on what my relationship with the person who was getting the advice was. If I would probably try to say something. It kind of depends on what it is. If it's something that's going to get that person like arrested or thrown in jail, like, hey, sell a finger. Yeah, do it. Sell some illegal drugs. It's a great idea. Then yeah, I'm definitely going to say something. If it's somebody that is giving not so great advice, but it's not going to hurt the person, then I'm going to leave it up to the person who's getting advice to make their own decisions. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm an expert on storage units and reselling, but maybe I'm not as much of an expert as this other person, you know? So all I can do is reach out to the person getting the advice and saying, hey, privately, not publicly, because we don't ever insult each other in public. We have like a picker reseller network. But hey, I don't know if that's quite right. If you want a different approach, let me know. I'll give you a different approach or my idea. But maybe I don't quite agree with that. And then maybe I'll let them decide what they want to do. That's a really good question. Yeah, I think I'll leave it up to them. I think I'll just kind of throw it out there and leave it up to them whether they want to pursue my answer or not.
And Thrifty Treasures wants to know, how is your YouTube channel going? Foxy reselling? You might want to comment in the chat so people can might want to sub to you, even though you haven't put up too many videos yet.
Yeah, it's actually Storage Heroes is my YouTube channel. And because all of my Gmail, it's like storageheroes@gmail.com. So all of my YouTube, Google, Blogger stuff is Storage Heroes. I used to publish a lot of videos, and I used to love it. I used to have a lot of fun. I was always finding like adult toys and weird things in my lockers. There were letters. We'd find a lot of prison letters and a lot of diaries that we would kind of do like interpretive readings of. We would show people like step by step, like what we found in each box. We would do live digs of units. We would message video people at our garage sales. We would do all these things. And to tell you the truth, the reason why I stopped is because, partially I was breaking up with a partner, and that was, kind of a weird thing. It was hard. When you're used to doing videos with someone else, it's hard to do them by yourself. But I had this like moral and ethical dilemma over, we're always entitled to what we buy. When we buy storage units, that property is ours. Legally, we own it. Legally, the facility did everything in their power to make sure that person got their stuff back. But I started getting a lot of comments from people like, oh, that was hilarious, but I don't think it's right to make fun of someone who's down on their luck, or I don't really think I would want my diary read, or I don't really think, I would want you to post, we were always really careful, like to blur out faces or to cover names or addresses or whatever. But a lot of people like didn't really like it. And a lot of people were really upset that we were showing people's like belongings and things like that. And I kind of switched to more of like an educational side of it, and a lot of, I don't really consider myself a personality. Like, I don't really consider myself somebody that people like to watch. Y'all could tell me if you like to read or if you like videos better. That would be really super helpful feedback for me. But I always consider myself a really good writer. And I know that I'm a really good writer, and I know that people respond well to my writing. And that's kind of why I kind of switched back to focusing on writing. Maybe I'll start doing some more videos. I would love to do some more educational kind of videos of like how to buy, how to sell, how to have a yard sale, how to organize your house, how to go from helping hoarders to looking like your own hoarders, kind of things. But it's scary, YouTube. It's a scary place. I mean, it's nice to have a community and to be able to see people and talk to people, but I was getting a lot of like the wrong kind of attention. You know what I mean? I was getting a lot of like marriage proposals and just weird kind of things. And so I was just kind of, I don't know. I would love you guys' feedback on like if you like videos and what kind of stuff. I would love to do live chats like this. I think this is super helpful for everybody. I just don't have the technical know-how. And, Walk-in Picker's kind of working with me a little bit on how to learn some of that stuff. This is certainly more fun and more useful, I think, than just like, showing people like, oh, look, I found, this thing in this bag. I don't know what it is, but it's fun. Yeah. I think this is like more useful, but y'all let me know what you want on my channel, and I'll definitely, if you asked a great question. So if you give me an idea for what video you'd like to see, I'll work on yours first.
Well, so far we've gotten 2 videos for responses.
What are they?
They're saying the answers are videos.
Oh, videos. Okay. We'll have to work.
You want them to let you know? They said, Chad said videos, and then he said, I don't know how to read. And then another viewer said, Rainbows and Puppies said videos.
Videos. I love that name, Rainbows and Puppies.
Coco Chanel said videos. So
I love, okay. Well, if Rainbows and Puppies and Coco Chanel says it, I mean, Chad, I'm not really counting, but you know he knows what he's doing. I guess I have to do more videos. Yeah, if people want to email me like suggested topics, and if you guys, want to tell me if you are legitimately interested in like the letters and the diaries I thought that was interesting because I thought that was kind of, for me, part of the reason I do what I do is because I enjoy finding gold and silver and valuables value. I enjoy making, but I enjoy.
I do have a suggestion though for a video.
I'm ready.
Why don't you, since you do the estate sales all the time, find someone that's willing to have you videotape yourself doing an estate sale, so you can see how you set it up.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, I could totally do that. A lot of times with estate sales, someone has recently passed. So I try to always kind of be respectful of the family. The family is generally having a really, really hard time. And a lot of times I have to like completely kick them out of the house. I have to be like, look, I can tell psychologically you're not ready for this. You cannot be here. You're not. I've had to eject people from their sale because they were screaming and crying like uncontrollably. And it's like at that point where it's like, if you want us to stop, we'll stop. If you want us not to sell this stuff right now, if you want to wait a couple months, that's fine. But I cannot be here and I cannot sell with 40 customers in this house and you screaming hysterically. Like that is not going to happen. So, yeah, but that would definitely be an interesting one. And I have some coming up that actually might be amenable to that. So it's a good idea. Thank you.
And Rainbows and Puppies said that does sound fun, letter, diaries, etc.
I was writing a book called Letters from Storage Lockers, and it was like actually the actual copies of the letters. You'd be surprised, like I have probably 15, 16, 1700 letters that I've collected from storage lockers. Some are World War II from the 30s, 40s, 50s. Some are, war letters. Some are prison letters. That's the most of them, majority of prison letters. They're super interesting though. Like, I mean, I get that it's people like on really tough times, but they're just, it's interesting because like every prisoner asks for the same like 5 things you can imagine. So I enjoy reading. I get a kick out of reading them, and sometimes it's like, baby, I went on a date with you, you didn't call me back, so I texted you, you didn't text me back, so I emailed you, you didn't email me back, so now I'm sending you a letter. Like, you respond whether you like me or not. Like, it's urgent, I need to know. So, like, I love those, I had this video, this diary this one time of this guy, and he would go out every night and he would find a different prostitute, and he would sleep with her, and then he would write in his journal, I think she was just using me. I wanted to love her, but now I find out that like she just wanted me to go buy her cocaine, or like she just wanted me to go buy her an outfit, or she just wanted whatever. And then the very next day he would do like the exact same thing all over again. And then it got really sad because he's like, I think I might have AIDS. I think I might, need to be tested, but I just want somebody to love me. Oh, I met this new girl today. Her name is Dominique, and she wants me to take her to the corner, so it's like, it's fascinating to me to like learn from kind of other people's mistakes, and hopefully they would appreciate that I'm trying to help other people learn from their mistakes too. But I could get why people might find it sad, or
Tanya Thrifty Treasure says it sounds like a great thing you could sell on eBay, meaning all the letters and.
Oh, that's fascinating. I'm not sure. Does eBay have a policy against that? I don't know. I have to look that up.
Well, I know photos they do. They don't have because a lot of people do slides and photos of the wartime planes, so it depends on the content.
That's a really good idea. If I don't make the bulk, I'll definitely, especially like the wartime ones. Yeah, for sure. I could sell them on eBay. Thank you.
See, you're here to give people your life, and you're learning things as you go.
I'm writing stuff down. I'm taking notes. Like I have notes written down here. So that's good. Those are good deals. Thank you guys.
Well, the crazy card says nope, done it. So apparently he's sold letters on eBay.
Were they modern or were they old wartime? That's a question.
Well, while you're waiting for the crazy card to answer, Swamp Picker asked you, with the World War II in New Orleans, would they want the letters?
We have the D-Day Museum here. I haven't tried to give them stuff because they just have so much stuff. If it was something super, like we're on the beaches of Normandy writing this right now, then I definitely would. But it's a lot of, baby, I miss you. I'm going to marry you when I get home. I mean, that's very sweet, very nice. But, I kind of feel like they have that already. It's definitely worth mentioning it to them. I know in the past, they've kind of just said, like, thank you for that. We'll be in touch shortly kind of thing. So I just post them online for everyone to read them, without even having to go into the museum. Maybe I'm hitting like a younger crowd, a younger audience. But that's a good idea. I'm going to put that back on my list because I know 2 years ago I tried, but I'm going to put it back on my list.
Well, they're saying you can also put them on Etsy for sure because Cherry Branch said old wartime letters are considered paper. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that word. If ephemera, and can be sold on eBay.
Okay. I'm definitely going to look into that. You guys should follow my eBay store, see how it turns out. Or maybe I'll give some of them away to people in here. I'll have to see where they are. We could do a giveaway maybe. I've gotten a lot of like cachets, like Navy cachets, or a lot of like, the cachets. I think I did sell Money Bay, but they didn't go for very much. The letters I just figured I'd keep myself or put in a book because that would be better than like selling them to one person. But I should do that and sell them on eBay as well, or Etsy.
See, you're learning as you were going here.
Yeah, I'm making a lot of notes. Thank you, guys.
And Cherry Vincent says there is a category on eBay. The paper.
Yes, I know exactly which category. Write that down.
She says she used to sell a lot of it to artists.
I like to cut it up and do backgrounds and stuff. I've decoupaged some stuff. Like if I have a letter that's ineligible or missing pieces, I've like decoupaged it on stuff before. I love to find stuff and refurbish it, refinish it. I have a lot of projects in here where I've repainted. I make my own chalk paint, and I do a lot of refinishing furniture and stuff because I love to give it new life.
And if you happen to be in the New Orleans area, look up Fox It Up.
Yeah, Fox It Up was my store because my last name's Fox, so Fox It Up was like my store. Like, don't fix it up, Fox It Up. And I always advise people. A lot of people say, well, there's a whole section on my book about how to yard sale your items for the most. And one of my rules is the profit versus the work versus reward rule. It's like, if you have something, it's a picture frame. Picture frame is always a really good example. If you have a picture frame and you can repaint it with chalk paint and it'll take you 5 minutes and you can sell a $1 picture frame for $10, do it. You just took 5 minutes to make an extra $9, like an extra 90% of profit for a few minutes of your time. That's an easy fix. Go ahead and do it. Now, I'm not saying that you should, if you have a chair that is a $25 chair, you should reupholster it and go spend $75 in fabric and 5 hours of your time to then sell the $25 chair for $50 or $75 or $100 because that's a gross waste of your time and money. But if you can make the right choice on whether to repair something or refurbish something, you could oftentimes make a lot more for it. And you go the extra mile because your customers learn that you have nice stuff. You don't have junk. You have stuff that looks beautiful. And then you get customers that have your aesthetic, and have, I have a piece of mint green furniture I might show you guys that I just redid that people want to buy. So it's like a win-win-win, and you have fun redecorating.
Oh, we are past the hours. Like you always say, we go past it.
We always having so much fun. I always have so much fun with you guys.
Chad said he's got to go. It's eating time there.
I'll message you back. I got your message. I just don't want to click on it because I'm scared I'll make noise and lose my window. But I will message you back. Tell your wife I said hello.
And I'm not seeing any more questions. So if you have any more questions for Rebecca, please get them in. We're here for a little longer. I'm sure she'll stick for a little while after show,
Of
like you
course.
did last time.
Of course. Yeah, it was technical difficulties and a half, but yeah, I did. I stayed for as long as I could on
But
that
this
one.
time she has a new computer, so she's not going to be worrying about her battery.
Brand new computer. Apple gave me a brand new computer for free. Brand new MacBook Pro for free because I was having so many issues. And then in the same week, they gave me a brand new rose gold iPhone too. So I definitely have had some good luck technological wise recently. So now I'm back up to date with everything.
And I hope everybody's enjoying what we've been talking about, especially about her life, how chaotic it's been. TV star, game show star, writer, blogger.
I've just been in some interesting places at one time, and all my experiences kind of, helped me for the next one. The fact that I was a substitute teacher helps me entertain children at my yard sales. The fact that I went to school for psychology and have a degree in psychology helps me with hoarders, helps me with dealing with estate sale, people that are just really upset, helps me dealing with people who have lost their storage unit, helps me deal with, all these situations. Like the fact that I was a shoe salesman and I worked at the mall and I was a fashion expert, that helps me with knowing brands of clothing that I pick and resell. Being automotive helps me whenever a storage unit rolls open and there's rims or there's, this or that. I actually have an auctioneer who calls me every time a door rolls open and there's a car inside because she asks me to translate the VIN for her. She asks me, what does that mean? What year is it? If it's a two-wheel or four-wheel drive. But in return, that auctioneer never starts an auction until I'm there. She's held auction for 45 minutes waiting for me to make sure that I'm there. So it always comes back to me. It always is something that I can use, in the future. I was a bounty hunter. I was an online bounty hunter. So my job was to find people that no one else could find. And I found them every single time. I put myself out of a job because I found all these people that nobody could find. But that helped me research. Now people from all over the country send me their items that they cannot find. I can't find this face anywhere. I have no idea what to charge for this, or, please help me find out this artist, or where does this artist live, or are they still alive? And that'll help me for that. So it's all, all this TV industry stuff. Now I'm working for Dan Dotson, like I said, and I'm putting some really amazing stuff together for him for his new site, storageauctions.net. And I don't feel like an idiot when I call him and he's on set at Storage Wars, because I can understand from hearing in the background what I'm hearing. I know, oh, they're going to roll in 5 minutes. They're ready. They're last looking, because I have film industry experience. So everything I've ever done, has always just kind of made me. And I love the concept of this show because you can't be in this business unless you're multifaceted. You're not going to be a good picker unless you know something about a couple of different, at least, we were talking, about your eBay store and how it's a lot of the same stuff as me. We both do a lot of sewing stuff and patterns and Disney and, TV and cartoon collectible kind of stuff. You find a niche, and your niche is what you know about, and your life got you there. It's like that Slumdog Millionaire movie. He answered all those questions on who wants to be a millionaire because of his life experiences, and that's how we're able to survive and exist in this business.
Well, I'm not seeing any more questions. I want to thank everybody for watching.
Yeah.
Next week, I'm going to have Pablo Sierra on the show.
Yay.
So the other half of the Sierra Estate Liquidators. And Wednesday night, it will be me, and my co-host will be Chris. He is coming back next week. And we will be covering sports cards. So if you have questions about sports cards, bring them in. I'm going to be doing a lot of screen shares, so he'll be catching the questions for me most likely. So hopefully I can give you more information on sports cards. And I will see you guys soon. We will be doing a little bit of an after show, but I'm going to be putting it in the Reseller Society page.
Oh, can I plug my links real fast again?
Yeah. I'll go. What I'll do is I'll put them in the description later if I can
Awesome.
remember.
Yeah, www.storage-heroes.com is the website. That'll get you pretty much to anything else. Gumroad.com/best yard sale ever/our show is for the discount on the best yard sale ever book. And then if you go to my website and click on the class, you'll be able to have a link to sign up for my free class on how to buy storage units at auction. And Facebook, find me on Facebook, Storage Heroes. And storageauctions.net is Dan Dotson's site, so I work for him now. So please check that out too. And thank you so much. I'm so happy to always have been here. Y'all had some great questions and gave me a freaking lot of information too. So I really, really appreciate it. I'm so always happy to be here. I always walk away like ready to work and ready to do new things.
Oh. Like I said, I will be posting the link in for the after show in the group. So I hope to see a few of you come in. I know Rebecca's hoping to see you so she can see some of the faces of people that she's been talking to.
Yay.
And thanks again for watching. And hope you hit the like button. And if you want to share it, go ahead. That'll give us be good too.
Yeah.
Night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you. Mwah.